Hello everyone, welcome to Mindfulness Zone at Home. I am super excited to be here with you to do some yoga, to do some mindfulness activities, to make some really cool projects. It's gonna be awesome. I am Miss Amanda. I am super excited to be here. This is just a great way to learn new skills that are gonna help us in life, to have some fun, to be active, to be creative. So I hope you'll join me in our Mindfulness Zone at Home activities. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're just gonna do a little bit of breathing. So find a comfortable seat. You can be in a chair, you can be on a carpet at home. If you have a yoga mat, you can lay out your yoga mat, even on a couch, wherever you are. Find a space where you feel comfortable. And we're gonna take 3 big breaths in and out together, okay? So we're gonna imagine that we have a beautiful flower in front of us, your favorite flower, and you're gonna inhale through your nose and smell that flower. And then you're gonna imagine that you have a candle and you're gonna blow out the candle. So let's do it 2 more times. Inhale and smell the flower. And exhale and blow out the candle. Last time. Inhale, smell that beautiful flower. And exhale. Way to go. Way to blow out your candles and smell those beautiful flowers. Now, the next mindfulness practice that we are going to practice is using this really special instrument. This is one of my favorite instruments. It is called a singing bowl. And the singing bowl makes this beautiful sound. And the goal with this mindfulness practice is just to listen. That's all you have to do. So sometimes when we pay attention to what's going on, there's a lot of things going on. Maybe you have a lot of thoughts in your head. Maybe there's a lot of sounds. Maybe someone at home is cooking dinner and there's lots of things going on to be distracted by. Well, sometimes having one thing we can focus on can help us practice mindfulness, especially when we have what's called the monkey mind. Monkey mind, maybe you've experienced this before, is where you think of so many things at once and you just can't stop all the thoughts. Well, by listening to one thing, we can practice focusing our attention, maybe setting aside those thoughts for just a few moments and practice really paying attention. So that's what the mindfulness zone activity is for right now, is listening to this singing bowl. So in this exercise, we're going to listen 3 times. So I'm gonna ring the singing bowl and I'm gonna let the sound go as long as I can hear it. And then I'll do it 2 more times, so 3 in total. So your goal is really just to listen to the singing bowl. If your mind wanders, and guess what? It probably will. Everybody's mind wanders. It's a part of the process. You're gonna gently ask yourself, your mind and your thoughts, to come back to the singing bowl sound, okay? So we're gonna practice 3 times. Sometimes when we're listening, if you feel comfortable and safe doing so, you can close your eyes or you can leave them open, or maybe you just want to gently almost close your eyes but keep them open just a little bit. You get to decide, okay? So here we go. Thank you for listening with me. If your eyes were closed, you can open them back up. How was that experience for you? Was it hard to listen to the singing bowl? I know I got distracted, but I definitely was very thankful to have that sound to bring my thoughts back to. So that's a great practice, and you don't need a singing bowl if you don't have one at home. Maybe you have a different instrument at home that makes a different sound, or maybe you could even make an instrument that could work like the singing bowl. So that's one of the great mindfulness practices that we have. Now we're going to move into 2 more breathing practices. So one is with your hand. Can you everybody bring your hand out? So we're going to do what's called the high 5 breath, okay? And so this is a practice that can be really helpful if you ever feel like you just need to take a little minute, a mindful minute, and just use some of your breathing to help maybe calm your body down. Maybe you have a big decision that you need to make and you just need to think through it. This can be a really great practice that can help you. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your finger, take your hand out in front of you, and we're going to trace our fingers nice and slow. As we go up and trace up, we're going to inhale. And as we bring our hand down, we're going to exhale. Okay? Let's try it. So, inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. I know I feel more calm and more focused and centered. And if you find that 5 breaths wasn't enough, guess what? You can do it on the other hand, or you can start over and do it on the same one. The next breathing practice we're going to do is using this really cool thing called the Hoberman Sphere. Maybe some of you have seen this before, or maybe some of you have them at home. If you don't have one at home, you can use your fingers, which is really cool. So as we open the sphere, you can open your fingers, and as we close it, you can close your fingers. So if you want to follow along with me or use this later, you can. Use your hands. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open and I'm going to count to 3. And then I'm going to hold for 3, and you can hold your breath if you want. And then I'm going to close it and you can exhale for 3 counts. I always like using this because it gives me and I can use my imagination and think about my lungs opening or getting nice and big as you take an inhale, and then exhale, our lungs get smaller. Maybe you even want to put your hand on your heart and feel as you inhale, your lungs expand, and then as you exhale, your lungs contract or get smaller. Now, if focusing on your breathing or holding your breath doesn't feel comfortable in your body, I encourage you just to breathe like normal with me. Maybe you just focus on the seat that you have. Maybe like you can move back and forth and feel what it feels like to sit on the chair or the floor, or maybe there's something in the room that you want to just gaze at very softly with this. You can do that too, okay? So, and at any point in time, if you just need to take a breath in or out, you go for it. This is just a suggestion. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. And inhale for 1, 2, 3. Hold for 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Second round. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Hold for 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Last round. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Hold for 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. That was so much fun to share all of those great breathing practices with you, some mindfulness practices. And this is one of my favorite books. I love Ruby Finds a Worry. It's written by Tom Percival, that's the author. And up here it says, what do you do when a worry won't leave you alone. Do you ever have a worry that follows you around and you can't stop thinking about it? I know I do. I sometimes have a lot of worries at once that follow me around, and I always wonder what I should do. Maybe this book will help us figure out what we should do. There is Ruby, the main character of our story. Ruby loved being Ruby. She loved to swing up high. She loved to explore wild, faraway places. Sometimes she even went all the way to the very bottom of the garden. Ruby was perfectly happy until one day she discovered a worry. It wasn't a very big worry. You see her worry there? In fact, it was so small that at first Ruby hardly noticed it. But then the worry started to grow. Each day it got a little bit bigger. Do you see her worry? It started out really small, and what is it doing? It's growing. It just wouldn't leave her alone. It was there at the breakfast, staring at her over her cereal box. And it was still there at night when she brushed her teeth. The funny thing was that no one else could see Ruby's worry, not even her teacher. So Ruby pretended that she couldn't see it either. She tried to carry on as if everything was normal, but it just wasn't. The worry was always there, stopping her from doing the things that she loved. Do you remember at the beginning of the book? She loved to swing on the swing, but now she's not. Ruby wondered if the worry would ever go away. What if it didn't? What if it stayed with her forever? Ruby didn't realize it, but she was doing the worst thing you can ever do with a worry. She was worrying about it. Now the worry was enormous. It could barely fit in the kitchen at dinner time. It filled up half the school bus. It's getting really big. And it took up whole rows at the movie theater. The worry became the only thing that Ruby could think about, and it seemed like she would never feel happy again. Then one day, something unexpected happened. Ruby noticed a boy sitting alone at the park. He looked how she felt, sad. And then she noticed something else, something hovering next to him. Could it be a worry? It was. Ruby realized that she wasn't the only person with a worry after all. Other people had them too. She asked the boy what was on his mind, and as he told her, the strangest thing happened. His worry began to shrink. Then Ruby did the best thing you can ever do if you have a worry. She talked about it. As the words tumbled out, Ruby's worry began to shrink until it was barely there at all. Soon, both of their worries were gone. Can you see her worry get smaller and smaller? Finally, Ruby felt like herself again. Of course, that wasn't the last time she ever had a worry. Everyone gets them from time to time. But now that she knew how to get rid of them, they never hung around for long. Thank you for listening to Ruby Finds a Worry. This mindful practice is called the 5 senses because we're going to use all of our 5 senses to be present right here and right now. And remember that mindfulness is paying attention to what's happening right here and right now, either inside of us and outside of us. So this practice will help us really pay attention to what's around us. Here we go. So the first thing I want you to do is find 5 things around you that you can see with your eyes that are different color. Can you pick out 5 things around the space that are a different color? Maybe just list them in your head. All right, once you've got your 5 things, we're going to think of 4 things and find 4 things that you can touch right where you are. So maybe it's where you're sitting or standing. Maybe the floor is cold, or maybe it's warm. Maybe you notice your clothing and how that feels. And you find 4 things that you can touch. The next thing you're going to do is find 3 things that you can hear. What are 3 things in the space that you can hear? Maybe one of them is my voice. Maybe you have a pet in the house or a family member who's making a noise. Can you just notice and label that sound? Next, you're going to think of 2 things that you can smell. What are 2 things where you are right now that you can smell? Maybe you need to close your eyes. Sometimes that can help us pay attention to different senses. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Did you smell anything? All right, and you can open your eyes if your eyes were closed. The last thing, find 1 thing that you can taste that's already in your mouth. Maybe you just have an aftertaste of what you just ate. Maybe you taste your toothpaste. Just pay attention and see if you can taste anything. All right, that's been our 5 senses practice. You can do this anytime, anywhere, and it can help you feel more present, more relaxed, and more grounded in the space right where you are. Thanks for practicing with me. We are going to do something that goes along with our body scan. And so what we're going to do is draw ourselves, and then we're going to draw something that we love that goes along with each of our 5 senses. So this kind of goes with our mindfulness practice of our body scan, but also the 5 senses practice that we've done as well. So what you'll need is a white piece of paper, something to color with, and that's really all you need. So first what you're going to do is find a color that you want to draw yourself with. So you can do this any way you want. We're going to make a self-portrait. Do a stick figure of myself for my self-portrait. You can do whatever size you would like. Make sure I add a smiley face and some hair. There we go. And then we're going to think of something that we like to see. So I love to go on walks and look at trees. So I'm going to draw a tree first with some roots and a big trunk, and then lots of green leaves. So make sure you think of the things that you love to see and add them into your self-portrait. And then I'm gonna think of something that I love to listen to or hear, and I like to listen to music. So I'm gonna make some music notes there, and I'll do another one. There we go. And then I'm gonna think of something that I love to eat, and that is an apple. Apples are my favorite thing to eat. So I'm gonna hold an apple in my hand here and draw a big juicy red apple. I'll put a little stem on there. Maybe I went for a walk and saw the tree, and then I saw that there were some apples, so I picked one. And there we go. And then something that I love to touch is a kitty cat. I like to pet cats, so I'm gonna draw a cat down here because they're my favorite thing, with some ears and their little body and some legs and a big fluffy tail, and I'll put a cute little pink nose. Make sure my kitty has eyes. And some whiskers. And then something that I love to smell is fresh cut grass. So I'm gonna draw some grass in my self-portrait mural here. And if you would like, you can add your name too, somewhere on the picture. And you can continue to add details, or you're done.